What's going on, guys? Strength by Logan here, back with another video, and today we are hitting some chest. But to fuel up today, we are using Woke AF Black. This is basically my go-to pre-workout anytime. But if not, I'll usually go for a Ghost Drink. I'm a little tired today, a little sore, but I'm gonna see how everything's feeling. So let's head to the gym and let's get right into it. To start things off for today's workout, I started with some incline dumbbell press, and usually I don't start with these, but today I wanted to change things up a little bit and put a little extra emphasis on my upper chest, just because I overlook this area sometimes. But to start things off, I started with 45 pounds just to warm up, get some blood flow, and see how everything's moving and feeling. I only did this for one set, just for 12 reps. Once these felt pretty solid, I jumped up to 75 pounds for an additional set for 12 reps, and then I moved into a heavy working set to start, this chest day off right, for 100 pounds for 3 sets. For the first set, I did 12 reps. The second set, I did around 10 to 11 reps, and then for the third set, I did, I believe, 8 reps. But the whole time I kept the reps controlled, and I really focused on that eccentric movement, which is the part of lowering the weight, really keeping that constant tension on my chest the whole time. And this really felt solid and definitely set the tone for the rest of the workout. I then moved into another chest press, but here I kept a neutral grip just to focus and get a better contraction at the top of every rep that you do when you press. But to start things off, I did 45 pounds just for 12 reps to see how, I'm feeling, see if, everything's positioned correctly, or if I need to adjust anything. I then jumped up to 90 pounds, hitting 3 sets here for an additional 12 reps. Everything felt very solid and great. And then I jumped up to 135 for 6 reps for 2 sets. And while I was doing these, I made sure to keep a slow tempo, especially on the eccentric movement or the negative movement, just pushing to failure each time with a short amount of rest in between each set. Next, I moved over to cable flies, and this is really a fundamental exercise that I love to incorporate on chest day. It varies from time to time, but for today's workout, I started from a high to low position, and this is really just great for isolating your upper chest. But to start things off, I started with 30 pounds. I did 1 set for 12 reps just to see how everything's feeling. I then jumped up to 50 pounds for an additional 12 reps for 1 set. And then moving into my working set, I jumped up to 70 pounds for 12 to 15 reps for 3 sets. And for this, I really love to hold the squeeze at the bottom just for a second and then control the movement back, emphasizing that eccentric stretch as you pull back. It really targets your upper chest and targets a better contraction when you're doing each movement. I then dropped the cables to around chest height to target more of the mid-range of your pecs and get a slightly different angle. Each movement, they all do the same thing, but just targets it a little differently. But to start here, I started with 30 pounds, got 12 reps out for 1 set. And because this is a slight different variation, I only jumped up to 50 pounds for my working set for 3 sets, and then I kept the rep range from like 12 to 15. But a note that you want to make here when you're doing these, you want to keep your shoulders back, you want to keep your chest up, and you want to control the rep each time that you're doing it, just to get a better squeeze and get a better contraction within your chest. I then moved over to another chest press, and this is a converging chest press, which is a favorite machine of mine on chest day. as it just really allows you to have more of a natural movement and have a better isolation and contraction when you're pressing. But to start things off here, I started with 45 pounds for 12 reps just for one set. I then jumped up to 90 pounds for 12 reps, one set as well. And then I jumped up to 135 for 12 reps, one set. And then moving into a heavy working set here, I did a total of 3 sets, kept it at 180 pounds for each, but the reps all varied. So on the first set, I hit a total of 12 reps. On the second set, I hit a total of 11 reps. And on the third set, I hit a total of 8 reps. I really just kept going until my chest was torched and I could not get another press out. You really want to focus on controlling the eccentric movement on the way back as well when you're pressing, and this will give you good isolation and good movement for every rep that you do. I then moved over to target some shoulders here, starting off with some lateral raises. And on this machine, it's really great to keep a good tempo and keep constant tensions on your shoulders. And it really allows you to have a singular movement as you're doing these without swinging, focusing on that top squeeze at the top and then slowly bring it down, controlling that eccentric movement. But for the weight that I did 60 pounds to start off for a total of 2 sets for 12 reps. I then jumped up into, I'd say, more of a heavy working set for this, to 80 pounds for a total of 3 sets for 15 reps. And I dropped the weight back down half the weight for a little burnout to 40 pounds for 2 sets for 15 reps. I then finished things off with some shoulder press, just as it's a solid compound movement, just for overall shoulder development and chest development. I started off here with 40 pounds for 12 reps just to warm up. I then jumped up to 60 pounds for 12 reps for one set as well. And then I jumped the weight up to 80 pounds for 12 reps for one set. All that felt great. I then moved into a heavy working set to finish things off for one last burnout, moving the weight up to 100 pounds for a total of 3 sets for 12 reps. And here I really made sure to keep my back flat against the pad and focused on getting full range extension at the top and slowly controlling that eccentric movement on the way back down. Just finished up with today's workout. Honestly, I'm very exhausted at this point. Even surprised that I even pushed that weight in amount of volume. But very solid lift. Kind of more focused on the controlled and eccentric movements. Just really getting that blood flow to my chest and shoulders. But still figuring everything out as I go and, upload these videos. My goal is to upload a video every week. So stay tuned next week for a back workout. But with that being said, I hope you guys really enjoyed today's video. Hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. It really helps out. But stay tuned, and I'm going to go get some food in me. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.